Welcome to Travel PR USA. Make sure you're following me at facebook.com/Travel PR USA. Now, let's talk about Real ID because it's in about a week and a half next month, May 7th. There is a new law that if you want to travel across the United States, domestic travel, you're going to need the Real ID badge on your driver's license, or you can also use other forms of ID before you can travel via air. This is very important. A lot of DMVs are getting crowded now because there's just about 2 weeks left. The deadline is here. So this is what you need to know. When did this law get passed? A lot of people are asking me that. The law has been there since 2005, but no one really enforced it. President Donald Trump is enforcing it. He wants to know who's moving around the U.S. and also illegal immigration. So like I said, in 2005, Congress passed the Real ID Act, which established new security standards for state-issued identification cards like driver's licenses. In general, a Real ID compliant license features a star in the upper right corner. You're going to see that gold star. I'll have it at the end of this video. If you are a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, you'll need a Real ID to get on a commercial flight beginning May 7th. This is so important because some people don't even know this is going on. You don't want to get to the airport with your luggage and everything and you can't travel. You must have that Real ID. On that day, the TSA will no longer accept your ordinary driver's license and state-issued ID cards that are not Real ID compliant. So all of you basically need the Real ID driver's license. Now, there's been questions on this, like, why hasn't the DMV be telling people, like, do you want a gold star or not? I mean, it's like no one really enforced this stuff. So not everybody has to go back and get it done. Now, if you don't have a Real ID and you really need to travel and it's so important, carry your passport. Okay, if you can't get a new license in time, okay? U.S. passport cards, U.S. passports, DHS Trusted Traveler, Global Entry, you know, like the Nexus card, Sentry and Fast, those ones that you use to go to Canada, Mexico, all that. And of course, if you have an ID from the Department of Defense, a border crossing card, an acceptable photo ID issued by a federal recognized tribal nation or Indian tribe, HSPD 12 PIV card, federal government issued passport, Canadian provincial license or Indian and Northern Affairs Canada card. For Canadians that are coming to the U.S. and want to travel across the U.S., they're going to need that too. So they have all this list of things you need before you can get on air travel. Of course, you know, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Employment Authorization Card, Transportation Worker ID, U.S. Merchant Marine, Veteran, Health ID card. There's a lot of opportunities. Okay, I have a son who travels a lot to Atlanta from Baltimore and also to New York. And so what I told him was he should get his Real ID driver's license, but for now, just carry your passport with you. So you're going to be traveling around the United States like you're traveling overseas. Now, with Travel PR USA, I want to let people know that if you're visiting the U.S., okay, you're a visitor from outside the U.S., maybe from UK, Nigeria, anywhere you're coming from, Ghana, if you are traveling within the U.S., you're going to be also subject to that Real ID compliance. And in your case, it'll be your passport. You understand what I'm saying? Let me give you an example. Okay, so you're coming from Nigeria to visit your sister who just had a baby in Chicago. So you're in Illinois, Chicago, and all of a sudden you want to go to New Jersey to visit your brother. You have to fly from Chicago to New Jersey. And in the old days, you could just show a driver's license or any little ID out there so they know you're the one getting on the plane with your ticket, name, and blah, blah, blah. Now you need that Real ID. Or in your case, you just visit the United States, so use your Nigerian passport as your ID. So I hope everybody got that straight. Real ID. If you are in the United States, go change your driver's license with that one. of the star, the gold star logo. It'll be at the end of this video. Thanks for listening.